Welcome everyone! Today I am going to be going over a mission in one of my all-time favorite games, VTOL VR. VTOL VR is made by a one-person team at Boundless Dynamics. It's a modern military flight sim that blends simulation and arcade incredibly well. In this video, I am flying the FA-26B, a fictional aircraft which is a cross between an F-15, an F-18, and an F-22, depending on what part of the plane you're looking at. It works as a very fast multi-role fighter performing suppression of enemy air defense, air superiority, as well as close air support. Today I'm going to be doing the third mission in the F-26 stock campaign, Strike on Naval Test Lake. The mission is to escort a trio of F-26s that are armed with anti-ship cruise missiles, and then provide a clear path for those cruise missiles by performing SEAD to allow them to take out enemy ships on the lake. Along with SEAD, you must provide air superiority and ensure that all ships are destroyed. You are to take off and head south, then turn east, avoiding enemy radar before turning north and making the attack. Along the route south, your two wingmen will break east to engage enemy fighters. I tried this mission without knowing a lot about how to dodge missiles, which, if you're flying SEAD, is pretty important. I ended up getting shot down a lot. The main threat is from missiles shot from the ground and from the boats, but the enemy also has aircraft already in the sky, as well as more that take off from an airfield and a drone ship. Even when I handle the SAMs, the aircraft would finish me off. I started learning more about how to dodge missiles and watched a video on someone doing the same mission to compare what they were doing with what I was doing. One of the things I learned was that I could call off my wingman's early attack and have them follow me to the southern attack point, which meant that all the aircraft are coming from the south. Another thing I learned was that not all of my anti-radar harms were hitting their target. The flight log showed them getting shot down, so I was under continuous SAM fire when I thought that I had knocked them out. Instead of using harms, I went with fire and forget anti-tank missiles. They needed more targeting assistance, but they are smaller and seemingly harder to counter. I still failed, but there was one final piece of the puzzle that I finally figured out. Along the southern coast of the map, there was a peninsula with a single SAM site that was causing a lot of problems for the attack group, making them evade fire almost immediately upon starting their attack. The SAM site was also undefended, so I hooked up a harm just for the purpose of taking it out. This is where the success begins. Alright, here we go, starting the mission. First order of business, taking off.
Kilo 1-1 tower, clear for takeoff at runway 07.
As you can see here, I'm loaded up with bombs, missiles, the works. This mission is great because you have to come with a variety of weapons in order to complete all the objectives. In front of us is the first objective, which is to meet up with X-ray.
Kilo 1, if you keep up and stay close to the strike group, you should be able to avoid radar detection all the way up to the pop-up point. Only engage immediate threats. We'll let you know when to start the SEAD attack.
I'm going to be skipping ahead a bit in this first part of the mission because there's a lot of flying with a few little things that pop up.
Engaging targets!
One of those things being making sure that my wingmen come with me. Wingman, disengage.
Roger, roger.
Wingman, form up.
Roger that.
Now they're going to come with me as I go on my southern route rather than going over the water and attacking early. Skipping ahead a little.
This is Command. We've noticed that a majority of the enemy air patrol is over the lake. We're sending out CAP now to keep them busy while you attack. Continue on your attack path.
A couple of enemy aircraft have popped up, so I go over the ridge to look for them. Wingman, engage.
Copy, I'm on it. Enemies confirmed, engaging.
The enemy got the jump and started shooting at us.
I got a missile on me! Defending! Enemy missile defeated, re-engaging.
With that attack dodged, it's my turn to start shooting. Fox 2. Ooh, Splash Bandit. Now, with all the maneuvering and turning I've been doing, my speed is really low, and I'm really vulnerable. My wingmen, however, they are on top of it.
Missiles out, going evasive. Defeated! Fox 2! Splash 1 bandit!
Wingman, disengage.
Affirmative.
Wingman, form up.
Copy that.
The enemy in the area is destroyed, so it's time to meet up with X-ray again. Skipping ahead a bit, it's time to take out the SAM site on the south side of the lake. It's undefended, so all I need to do is pop up over this ridge here, target it on my anti-radiation attack display, and fire my missile.
Magnum.
Over T.
Now I'm being picked up by radar, so it's time to get back behind the ridge and regroup with X-ray. Meanwhile, my Harm is having a nice leisurely flight on its way to a final destination of that SAM site. Now it's time for the real fight to start. We're coming in low, we're coming in hot.
Okay, X-ray is beginning their anti-ship attack now. Pop up and begin taking out all radar targets at heading 020. We're relying on you to make sure the cruise missiles meet their targets uninterrupted.
I've got my AGMs warmed up, ready to go. I'm screaming in over 800 miles per hour.
Engaging the enemy. Bruiser. Anti-ship missile away.
I need to be within about 8 nautical miles to fire off my missiles, so I need to get a little bit closer.
Bruiser.
I'm going to duck down below the ridge again to block my line of sight with the enemy.
Magnum.
Missile launch.
That'll keep them from getting a radar lock on me, preventing them from shooting a missile that would prevent me from shooting off my missiles when I'm ready.
Wingman. Engage.
Affirmative.
I told my wingmen to orbit a little bit ago, so I just told them to come in and start their attack. I'm coming up over this ridge now, and so they're going to start shooting missiles at me, so I need to make sure I'm getting my missile off pretty quick.
Altitude.
Yeah, see, they've already got a radar lock on me.
Shoot chaff. Flair.
Rifle.
Now I need to target as much as I can before I start taking invasive maneuvers.
Shoot.
There's a missile on me, but I'm going to be able to break the line of sight, and that will cause it to stop tracking me.
Plot. Altitude. Over T.
That buys me a little bit of time so that I can allow my missiles to hit the radar. Once the radar is out, then they can't really shoot missiles at me. They're effectively blind.
Altitude.
Now, as my aircraft is keen to let you know, I'm flying really, really low. I'm doing this to take advantage of any kind of things that would break line of sight. Little hills, little berms, whatever it takes.
Target destroyed. Shack, that got him.
My missiles hit their target, so that site is no longer a threat to me, and I can climb a little bit to start engaging my next target, which is along the coast. There's a couple ships and an airfield.
Over T.
I've locked in on the radar that's on the airfield. I think that one will control some missiles, but I'm going to take out all the radar as much as I can, so I'm heading towards that one first. Just like my first group of targets, I'm going to try and come in as fast as I can.
Be advised, there's a new group of fighters taking off from that airbase.
Rifle.
You can hear the RWR saying that I've been locked on, so I need to get these missiles out fast.
Magnum. ARM away.
Now those angry beeps say that there's a missile on me, so I need to start evading.
Plot. Chaff. Flair.
And Magnum.
Plot. Over T. Chaff. Flair. Over T.
And oh, 2 missiles. Dodged both of them.
Trash.
Chaff. Flair.
Shack.
My AGMs are starting to hit their targets, so now I just have to wait for that last one. There it is. So phase 2 of my attack is done, and I need to start looking for more targets.
Target splashed.
Over T. Over T.
Looking over at the airfield,
Bruiser deployed.
and you can just barely make out that there's some aircraft
Bruiser.
on the runway ready to take off. This is a great opportunity to take them out, so I'm switching to guns.
Guns, guns, guns.
Plot. 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 Altitude.
I took out 2, but I couldn't quite get that last one. So I'm going to turn around and see if I can make another pass at it. Radar lock on me, so I'm pumping chaff to try and lose it.
Altitude. Altitude.
I'm at very low altitude.
Magnum. ARM away.
Over T.
I kind of wonder if it's going to be able to take off with all the wreckage on the runway now.
Over T.
Nope, it's going for it. It's moving so slow, this should be really easy.
Plot. Altitude.
But I miss anyways.
Over T.
That's alright, I've got more tools to use. Like this heat seeker.
Fox 2. Yeah, Splash Bandit.
Bruiser, anti-ship missile away.
Taking out those aircraft was really, really helpful because they would be causing a lot of trouble if they were able to get off and start shooting missiles at my team and myself. Neutralizing them really increased my chances of winning this mission. With that third batch of targets taken out, it's time to speed up and start looking for more targets to take out. I briefly check radar and then I switch over to the ARAD to see who has a radar, because they're probably going to be the biggest threat to me.
Magnum.
It looks like we have a couple ships out here, and they have missiles, so I'm going to try and take them out with my AGM. Sounds like a radar has lock on me.
Shoot.
Rifle.
I'm already in range, so I can just fire away.
Over T. Chav. Flair. Over T. Chav. Flair.
Break. Missile.
Now it sounds like there's missiles on me, so I'm going to start evading. I'm going to try and get low and pump flares and chaff.
Launch. Plug. Altitude.
Flying at about cactus height right now.
Altitude.
Missiles on me.
Chav.
Evading.
Flair.
I'm also hoping that maybe I can just outrun the missile.
Enemy missile shot trash. That was close.
Chav. Flair. Altitude. Altitude.
Shack, enemy destroyed.
Altitude.
Missile incoming. Go evasive. Enemy missile shot trash. That was close.
Bruiser.
Rifle.
Bruiser, anti-ship away.
Well, my wingmen are definitely keeping busy. I thought I took out the boats out there with my missiles, but I still see a radar signature. But before I can do anything about that, I need to lose another radar lock.
Chav. Flair.
I got a missile on me. Defending. Target still standing.
I'm going to loop around this hill to see if I can break line of sight with whatever's got a lock on me.
Enemy missile shot trash. That was close.
Altitude.
The lock is gone now, so time to start attacking again.
Altitude.
I switch over to my harm missile, and I look at that SAM site over to the right, but it looks a little far away, so I switch back over to the
Over
boat.
T. Shoot.
Missile on me. Evading.
Magnum.
There's no reason for me to stick around, so I'm going to turn around and head back towards land.
Shack.
Rifle.
Missile launch.
I just need my missile to connect, and then I'm going to look around and see what else I need to do.
Missile incoming. Go evasive.
Target destroyed. Whew, dodge that one. Bruiser.
Shack.
That ship is down, so it's time to start looking around.
Shack.
At this point, I don't think I've made it this far in the mission before.
Bruiser. Fox 3.
I'm looking around to see which ships are still floating.
Bruiser.
Advised. Bingo fuel returning to tanker plane.
These ones are sunk, so I can keep looking. Looking around and trying to find targets is a little unusual, especially with wingmen still available.
Missile lost track.
Missile launch.
Fox 2. Splash. Target destroyed.
Looking for new targets, I check out my nav to see if there's anything that pops up on there, and I see some aerial targets. Those should be drones that the drone carrier launched earlier. It's time to turn on the radar because all of these are going to be aerial targets.
Fox 2. Splash. Hostile down.
I'm going to be using my AIM 120s, which are radar-guided missiles, so I need to at least get an initial lock so that they have a chance to get their own lock after they've fired. I'm seeing them on the radar, but I am expecting to see them with my head-mounted display. There should be some sort of an icon where I can see aircraft, but I'm just not seeing it. Either it doesn't show up, or I'm too far away. Regardless, now's the time to just start locking on and firing my missiles.
Disengaging. Bingo fuel.
Shoot.
Fox 3.
Pitbull.
When it says Pitbull, that means that I don't need to have a lock on the target anymore. The missile has its own lock.
Shoot. Pitbull.
Fox 3.
This is really about finding them on radar and then clicking and shooting.
Shoot.
Fox 3.
Pitbull.
The drones are pretty easy to shoot down, so all these missiles should be good.
Rifle.
Shoot.
Fox 3.
Pitbull.
I brought 5 120s, and I've got one left, so I just need to find one more target and shoot it, and then I can kind of figure out what I want to do next.
Splash Bandit.
Shoot. Pitbull.
Fox 3.
For this one, I took a really bad angle when I fired my missile, so it's not surprising that I missed. I could switch to guns, but now that there's a radar lock on me, I am inclined to just try and leave the area first, and then kind of reevaluate what I want to do.
Shack.
Chat. Flair.
Bruiser. Out.
The radar lock doesn't really turn into any kind of threat, and so I'm actually going to skip ahead here. There's a bit of time where I'm just wavering as to whether I want to go after the drones or not. I don't have many missiles left for air-to-air, but I have some bombs that I can use to take out the last ships that I need to in order to complete the mission. You can see here that I found a ship that is still operational, and I'm going to look around to see if there are any other ships that might be around that I could target as well. Oh,
Ooh, direct hit. Target destroyed.
Fox 2.
not that one anymore. Someone else took it out. Alright, so looking around, I do find the last two ships that I need to take out. I just need to log their GPS coordinates so that my bombs know where to go. At this point, I've climbed a long time, so I have a really high altitude, and my bombs will be able to glide to the target even at this distance. I take my time to make sure that I'm nice and level so that there's no problems getting the bombs off.
Pickle.
More than once, I've actually dropped my bomb and then nose down, so I managed to hit myself with my own bomb. I bombed myself. And as embarrassing as those times were, it would be crushing to lose the mission at this point, this far in, this close to the end, by bombing myself. Now to make sure that I have a good view of the bombs impacting, I'm going to tilt my plane to the right and then turn back counterclockwise because my targeting pod is on the left side of the aircraft and I need to keep it with a good line of sight. I've dropped these bombs from pretty high up, so it's going to take a little while for them to hit. Once they do though, that's it. I've completed the mission, except for landing, of course.
Guns, guns, guns. Direct hit. He's going down. Rifle.
It's been a real blast doing this mission. It's been frustrating at times, but really, I am so happy that I was able to complete it, and it's a nice challenge that is really specific to my interests and skill level. I also had to learn about some military aviation techniques and concepts, and I thought that was really interesting to learn about.
Rifle.
Shack.
This is command. All targets have been destroyed. Return to base.
Well, with that, I want to thank everyone who's gotten to this part of the video for watching. I spent a bit more time on this video than I expected, and I've gotten through all the other campaign missions at this point. I'm not sure exactly if I want to make it like this. I think this is a little bit too much, but I do intend to kind of go back and maybe piece together something that's a little bit shorter and get the whole campaign. Whether or not I do that, we'll see, but at least I have the footage there, and with the way that VTOL works, I can use 2 camera angles, and I think that's a pretty useful tool for being able to show what's going on and give some nice cinematic flair to things. If you like this video, feel free to like it and subscribe to my channel. I do these videos just for fun, and I like to try different editing techniques with each series or video. It can be pretty random, but if you enjoy this kind of thing, keep an eye out for new videos. Thanks again for watching.